This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. The title of this rant is How to Steal $50 Trillion from the American People. So a study was done just done recently and indicated since approximately 1975, there has been a wholesale transfer of wealth up from the bottom 90% to the top 1% of the population of approximately $50 trillion. And that if before 1975, from 1945 to 1975, the middle class had gained had gained a lot. Now it's gone down quite a bit, and that $50 trillion, if it had not happened, would have basically allowed to have a much stronger middle class here in the United States, and would have allowed us to have approximately a $2.5 trillion increase in our annual GDP. And if we look at these richest of the rich, Bezos, who's worth over $100 billion, the Koch brothers, each worth about $45 billion, the Walton kids, each one worth about $25 billion. Just remember that $1 billion would employ 20,000 people at $50,000 per year. That's for 1 year. That's where this wealth has gone. And as we're in this election year, this is something that we really have to consider. But if we look at how did this really happen, I have two ideas. One is Nixon's Southern strategy in 1968. Basically, the whole idea was to inflame white racism against African Americans. It made the solid South solidly Republican for a whole generation or more. I think there were 16 states all involved, and of course there's plenty of racists in all of the other states. And that Southern strategy has used the Republicans very, very well as they gin up a tremendous amount of racial animosity towards blacks and now towards people of color, so that basically Nixon and then all succeeding presidents could enact laws that were against basically their own economic self-interest, which has caused tremendous harmony to not only their children, grandchildren, but now great-grandchildren. And remember, Reagan kept that up. He went to Jackson, Mississippi, right after he was nominated in 1980. That's where the 3 civil rights workers were murdered in 1964. And basically, what was his thought on that? This is all about states' rights. And of course, Papa Bush, the older Bush, he had the Willie Horton ad from back then. And little baby Bush, Georgie boy, he had the oxymoron of oxymorons, which is, hey, I'm a compassionate conservative, where he was not at all. The second thing, besides the Southern strategy, was the Powell Memorandum from William Powell, who, before he became a Supreme Court justice, put out a memorandum which basically ensconced the wave of the conservatism as we have it right now. And basically, it was based on exceptionally pro-business, exceptionally anti-socialist, minimal government oversight regulations. Remember, government regulations are not regulations, they're protections. And surveillance, extreme surveillance of the media. So this is where we get this enemy of the people thing. And of course, the rise of that conservative movement is all of these think tanks, and there's many, many more. Heritage Institute, Cato Institute, ALEC, the Chamber of Commerce, etc. Basically looking after corporate profits as their sole responsibility in life. One other thing about the Powell Memorandum was to purge left-wing elements. So this is where we have it all from. And again, their purpose in life is to basically, their grand plan for living is corporate profits above all else, above people, above education, above food insecurity, above clean air, clean water, clean soil. It is solely about corporate profits. And while all that is going on, the laws have been changed to have this wholesale transfer of approximately $50 trillion go from the average working person up to the super wealthy. This has got to be a pivotal point in this election cycle for all of the terrible things that this guy has done, that when the next Democratic Biden comes in, that we have to start the reversal of this whole thing, because we have to realize what has gone on. This transfer of wealth, this has to be a transformational election. We have to vote for Biden, and we have to get that money back.